become an information. We can easily identify a student by his ID, right? So can we divide this ID? Can you divide it?
Yes, madam.
No, ma'am.
Ma'am.
First four should be referred as the year.
If we divide it
We
Middle
automatically,
one.
cannot divide this data, this 20101011. We cannot divide it. So no, no, no. If we divide it at that time, it will not carry any, meaning, right? It will be meaningless. The ID of a student is 20101011, and the type of data which cannot be divided, it's called elementary data. What it is called? Elementary data. Is that clear? What is group data and what is elementary data?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And another thing, when we are assigning some attributes here, what is it, Ronoy Sutradhar? This is the name of a student. That means we are identifying a student, right?
Yes, ma'am.
We are identifying a student by his name, right? So look at this student. Can you say it's an entity? You have heard this term in fundamental course, isn't it? You know what is entity, what is attribute, what is field, record, column, row, isn't it? What is entity? Entity is anything about whom we are talking about, right? Suppose student, this is our entity because we are just trying to find out some characteristics or attributes of it. So student, this is our entity. And what is the attribute? The characteristics we are using for identifying that entity is called attribute. So here name is actually an attribute. Is it clear what is entity and what is attribute?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Okay, so this is the person or this is the thing. We are talking about student, and this name is one characteristics of that entity. That's why name is the attribute. Okay, so this is data, and when it will become information when we are assigning some attributes here, that at that time this data has become information. Okay, so this is the first part of this course, that is data. Now what is structure and what is data structure? We know that when some data are given, suppose a set of data is given, that is 2, 11, then 15, then 3, 9, 20. A set of data is given, 2, 11, 15, 3, 9, 20, right? And after collecting some data, where you can store it, how you can preserve that data for further use, where you can store it.
In array.
Very good, in array. After collecting some data, we have to preserve it. We have to organize it. Very good. And a set of data can be organized in several ways. A set of data can be organized in several ways. Okay. And that type of data organization is called data structure. There are so many ways for organizing some data, which is called data structure. And in different data structures, they have different approaches or techniques for storing the data. Is that clear? What is data structure? It's a way of organizing the data. Okay?
Yes,
so
ma'am.
since we have said about array, what is array? We know that array is, what is the definition of array?
Fixed size of
collection of data item
अथवा
can be stored here, right? A collection of data item
Yeah.
can be stored here. Since you have already done the C programming course, so I think I can write the code here. Suppose I have declared a variable integer a10. This is one kind of declaration, and another type of declaration I'm using here, that is integer a. So now tell me which is a single variable and which one is array variable.
First one is array.
right one.
First one was array
First one
Yeah,
is
variable.
very good. So the first one is array variable. This a is array variable, and this a is a single variable, right? So this a, integer a, this variable a can store some integer type data. It can store only one data at a time, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
integer type, that means this variable a can store only the whole number, such as 1, 2, 3, 4. It cannot store the fractional number, such as 2.5, 3.0, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
when we are declaring
Yes,
a variable A, at that time it can store only one value, right? And what about array variable integer A10? So array is collection of similar type data. Array is a collection of similar type data, and here the array size is 10. That means this variable A is collection of how many data elements, how many array elements are
10
here?
integer,
It's counting
10,
10.
10
yes,
integer.
10 array elements, and the indexes, or we can use this index A0, A1 for denoting those array elements. So this A0, it can store one kind of data, which is obviously an integer. Suppose A0 equals to 2, A1 equals to 5, and then the last element will be A9. Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
This
ma'am.
array
Yes,
is one type, or it's a structure for organizing the data. And I already said that in data structure, each data structure has some particular way of storing the data. They use some specific techniques for storing the data. And in array, we can store only similar type of data. Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so this is data structure, okay. And there are two types of data structure we can use. One is, can I clean the board?
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. So there
Okay,
are
ma'am.
so there are two types of data structure. Data structure can be divided into two types. Sorry. We'll discuss about these things in our next classes. I'm just trying to give you a basic, the idea of data structures. Okay. So data structure can be divided into two categories. One is called linear data structure and another is called nonlinear data structure. Okay, so now what is the difference between linear data structure and nonlinear data structure? Data structure is the way of organizing the data, right? And it is divided into how many parts? Two. One is linear data structure and another is nonlinear data structure. And we already discussed about one data structure, that is array. When we are creating a data structure, when we are storing some data in a structure, we have to remember two things. One is, when we are organizing the data into a data structure, at that time, look at this, suppose a data set, the previous one, suppose 2, 11, 15, 3, 9. Okay, when a set is given, we can organize it in so many ways, right? Suppose we want to store it in ascending order. At that time, how this data will be stored? If I want to store the data in ascending order, at that time, what will be the sequence of this data item?
2, 3, 9, 11, 15.
Ma'am,
Very
2,
good.
3, 9,
2,
11.
3, 9, 11, 15, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That means the lowest data element to highest data element, that is in ascending order. We can organize the data in this way. Whatever descending data structure, or if we want to
It will alter.
store it in descending way, then we have
From
to
the 8 to
perform the
below.
opposite way. Yeah, 15, 11, 9, 3, 2, right? That means we are following a specific pattern for organizing the data. Okay, and in this ascending order, we can see that there is a relationship between these data elements, right? The first data element is smaller than the second one, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And then this data element is smaller than the third one, right? That means the previous data item is always smaller than the next one. So when we are creating a data structure, at that time, we have to, or there's a relationship between this data element, right? Which should be reflected in that data structure also. In real world, there can be relationships between the data elements which should be reflected in those data structure. That is the first thing we have to remember. And second thing is, whenever some data items are stored in an array, linked list, or in any data structure, then what should we, suppose after storing some data in a data structure, now you want to process it, you want to retrieve that or a particular data from that structure. How you can do it? Some data items are stored in a data structure. So can we now process that a particular data item Can we delete it? Can we add another data item here?
Using the index.
Yes, madam.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is the second recommendation. That is, when we are creating the data structure at that time, it should be organized, it should be created in a way that we can easily process the stored data item whenever we want. Is that clear? So now how we can define the linear data structure and non-linear data structure. One is linear and another is non-linear. So linear is, that means when some data items are stored in a data structure, at that time there should be a sequence, there should be a linear relationship between the data items. Just think about array. In array, how we are storing the data item, from
Using
in
index.
ascending
Index.
way, right? So look at this, there is a relationship between these data elements. Okay, but in non-linear data structure, we don't need to follow this specific rule. Okay, so as linear data structure, we can use array, then linked list. We'll discuss about these things later. We just need to know the name of linear data structure now. So, and then stack. Okay, so these are some data structure which is called linear, because in these data structures, there is some relationship or there is some sequence among those data items. Okay, and in nonlinear data structure, how you can define it? What is nonlinear data structure?
Graph.
There is no such
No
sequence
relation, there
among
will-
the data items
There
here.
will be no.
And the example of nonlinear data structure will be tree graph.
Tree.
Okay. So this is the first portion of this course, data structure, and the second term is algorithm. Right? So what is algorithm?
Sequential steps.
Yeah, very good. Sequential step or well-defined steps for solving a particular problem. Suppose a problem is given, that is, you have to add two numbers. We know that before implementing it in code, before writing the code, we have to write the algorithm. We need to know the pseudocode, right?
Yes, ma'am.
The problem is, a problem is given, add two numbers. So before implement it in code, we have to write the pseudocode or algorithm. So how we can create an algorithm for this particular problem? In this course, in data structure and algorithm, you have to define so many algorithms for different situations. For each data structure, there can be several algorithms. Suppose a data structure is given, that data structure can be tree graph. Okay, so at that time, whenever you are inserting a new data item in that array or tree or graph, you have to develop a new algorithm. Algorithm is really important in this course. That's why you need to know what is algorithm or how we can create an algorithm. Okay, so for this problem, add two numbers, how we can create the algorithm?
Take two numbers, add them.
How many
At first we have
numbers,
to take-
how many variables actually need here?
Three
variables.
Very good, 3 variables. Look at this problem. Add two numbers. That means we need 2 input variables for taking 2 numbers, and then
One is
another output variable where
variable.
we can store the result or output, right? So the first step of any algorithm is we have to start the process, right? And what is the next step?
Declare 3 variables.
Very good.
Declare.
You have to declare some variables. So declare how many variables? 3
Three
variables.
variables.
Yes.
And another thing is, during declaration, we have to mention the data type of that variable, right? So declare 3 variables, suppose A, B, C of integer type. At the time of declaration, we have to mention the data type also.
Ma'am, a float
Yes.
type, anytime float number.
Yeah, if you
Okay.
want, you can take float type also. If you want, you can declare the input variable as integer type, and you can declare the output variable as float type. It's possible. Okay. And what is the next step?
Okay, ma'am.
Take
Edit two
inputs
numbers.
of A and B.
Yeah, we have to take inputs, right? So read data or take inputs on A and B. That is the next step. And what about the next one?
Add both of them and store the
Yeah.
result to C.
So then after taking the input, now the next step will be calculation. So calculate C equals to A plus B. That is the calculation portion. And after that, we can print or store the result in the output variable. So print C and then stop. Okay. So whenever a problem is given, at first you have to find out, at first you have to understand that problem, then you have to find out the problem, then you have to just create an algorithm for solving that problem. Is that clear? What is the algorithm?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
After that, after writing this algorithm, now we can write the code. We can write the code, right? So when we are using some algorithms for solving a problem, we know that we have to create the algorithm, and at that time, and one thing I already said, that for a particular problem, you can use several algorithms or you can use several data structures, but which one is best? Which one will give you the optimal solution? How you can find it out? This type of question can come. For solving this problem, I can use 3 data structure, but which one I should use? How you can find it out, or which algorithm will be best for solving that problem? Is there any performance metrics for find it out? Do you get my question? My question is, when a problem is given, for solving that problem, we can use several data structures or algorithms, right? But obviously, among those 3 or 4 solutions, only one can give us the optimal solution. Which one it is? How we can find it out?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Got the question.
So do you have any performance metrics for that? How we can evaluate the performance?
Madam, by runtime, how
Very
much
good.
time
Very
it's
good.
taking to complete,
Yeah.
and
So
second, how less the algorithm steps are. Less algorithm means fast.
okay, actually, we
Fast
need to
process.
know the complexity of that algorithm. We need to know the complexity of an algorithm. And what is
Yes, ma'am.
complexity? It's actually a function of how much time that algorithm needs to find out the result, okay? And how much
Yes.
memory that algorithm will occupy from the man, right? So there are 2 complexity we need to know. One is time complexity and another is space complexity. Have you noticed it? Suppose this is our console window, and here suppose it has printed the output here. After that, an execution time is also given, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is execution time? That is how much time that algorithm, that program needed for printing that output, for calculating the output. That is time complexity. And what is space complexity? How much
How
space
much
it can
memory it's
occupy
taking?
from the memory. Okay, suppose for these algorithm, what is the problem? The problem is we have to add 2 numbers, right? So when we are declaring the variable, suppose integer a and b, these are our input variable and this is output variable. So when we are declaring some variable, at that time, these variables are actually occupying some space from the memory. This is the memory, and this space has been taken by the variable a, and this memory is taken by the variable c, and this is the space of the variable c. Isn't it? Whenever we are actually declaring any variable, at that time, it's actually taking some space from the memory, right? So how much space it will take from the memory? How much space it can take from the memory? Any idea?
Madam, according to the type of data,
Very good, very good.
every
It
type.
depends on which data type we're using for declaring those variables. So here, the data type is integer, right? An integer
Or-
can take how much? 8 bytes, 16 bytes, 32 bytes. It depends on the operating system. It depends on the size of the...
Four
Yeah,
Depend on component.
right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what is time complexity? That means the amount of time that algorithm will take, and space complexity, the how much size it will occupy from the memory, right? So suppose 3 algorithm have different time complexity and space complexity. So which one you choose?
Which taking the less time
Very
and
good.
space?
The algorithm that takes less time and less space, that one we'll choose, right? So we need to know whenever we are actually writing a new algorithm, at that time we need to know what is the time complexity and what is space complexity for that algorithm. We need to know it. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So after each class, or actually before starting any new chapter, I'll upload the slide in the Facebook group. I think you all are connected to it. You all have joined the Facebook group, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am.
So this is data structure and algorithm. And another thing is, whenever you have confusion, whenever you have some problem, you have to tell me. Okay, so don't hesitate asking me questions. Okay, it doesn't matter how many times you need to ask, just ask me. If you have any problem, if you have any confusion in any topic, just tell me. Is that clear? So
Alright, ma'am.
introduction is really important. When I'm asking you some question, just try to respond. It doesn't matter whether, I mean, you always have to be right. Okay, your answer can be wrong, just please try to respond, just try to answer. Okay, and this is our first class, so I think this is all for today. From tomorrow we'll start chapter 1. Is that
Alright,
clear?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
ma'am.
after the class, yeah, and we'll follow this book. Just look at this. We'll follow this book, Data Structures with C by Seymour Dita. Here. Okay, so now if you have any question regarding this course, you can ask me. Or if you have any question about anything, you can ask me.
Ma'am, about the data type, somewhere I found that data two type, primitive and non-primitive.
Yeah,
Is that okay?
yeah, that's correct.
And non-primitive comes linear and non-linear.
Yeah, we will discuss about these things tomorrow in the first chapter. Okay, since
Alright.
I've already told you this is our introductory class, that's why I will not discuss.
Yes, ma'am. Got it.
Yeah, so actually data structure or data is actually of two types. One is primitive and another is non-primitive. Primitive data type, that is integer, float,
Float. Yes, ma'am.
then character. These are primitive data type, and non-primitive, these are linear and
Non-linear.
non-linear data structure. We'll discuss about these things tomorrow, in our tomorrow's class.
Since you directly
Thank you,
wrote
Ashik.
that's why I became
Yeah.
slightly confused.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so now please respond. I'm just taking the attendance. So, Nasir Raihan,
Yes, ma'am.
Najmul Huda Farhad, Farhad Ashikur Rahman,
Yes, ma'am.
Takib Inam, Takib, Rizvi Ahmed,
Yes, ma'am.
Sharmin Akhtar,
Yes, ma'am.
Umme Kulsum Tithi.